Doc Loves the Kids, a local Kitsap County nonprofit organization established in 2015, whose mission is to provide activities, programs, and community support for at-risk youth.
They put the U in community.
Doc Loves the Kids.
Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy,
where we give you the courtesy of conversation
that's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm D-Mac.
I'm Wesley.
And this is the show. Thanks for everybody that listens and checks us out. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our shows to watch what we're doing. Don't forget every Friday 1 p.m. or 7 p.m. Pacific time, we have the Friday Fix. The last episode was fire. Yeah, bands and bands. Don't forget to catch us 1 p.m. every Sunday Pacific time. Our live town hall. Everybody can join in, join the discussion. Sir, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I just want everybody to make sure y'all check us out Fridays, like you said, and Sundays as well. You know what I mean? For the town hall, 1 p.m. Pacific time. You know what I mean? I'm doing good today, man. I won't say the world's been doing great, but we finally gotten some clarification from your boy Donald Trump about, you know, potential things that are going on. But at the same time, I want you to start with the drones that's been flying around here, man. Everybody's been talking about these drones. I've been hearing about, I mean, you spoke to me about it days ago, telling me we should have reported about this days ago.
Yeah.
Because of my, because of my lacking on this one, we're behind it. We're kind of behind on the story that we were ahead on.
Yeah. Yeah. So it says, basically it says White House sees no evidence of threat from the drones and say many sightings were manned aircrafts. The White House is knocking down claims that the New Jersey airspace has been invaded by drones controlled by hostile nations, and say many of the aircraft sightings have been cited to support such assertions are actually normal piloted airplanes. In recent days, residents of the Garden State have been posting videos of what they describe as sightings of unmanned aircraft over the area where the U.S. Army has research facilities, as well as President-elect Donald Trump's Bedminster, New Jersey Golf Club. One Republican Congressman, Representative Jeff Van Drew, claimed Wednesday during a House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee hearing that the aircraft in question were Iranian in origin and were being controlled by a mothership operated by Tehran off the U.S. coast. I've learned for real that there's circumstantial evidence that there's Iranian motherships off the east coast of the United States, and that's launching these drones incursions, he said. The Pentagon has denied Van Drew's assertions were in any way grounded in fact, with Defense Department Press Secretary Sabrina Singh telling ABC News that there was not any truth to what he'd alleged. So, I mean, they're still being kind of like standoffish about it. They're not saying what the drones are. That's one thing they're not doing. They're not telling anybody, hey, this is an American thing. This is a company, nothing. They're just saying, don't worry about it.
I mean, you got to look at it like this. They're saying these are manned drones, and these things are as big as SUVs.
Yeah.
And they're manned. And you can't okay, they're flying under the radar, but you can't figure out how to send another drone to follow it home.
Well, if you think about it, they'd have to have a drone, but I mean, you can't even scramble aircraft after it, because by the time you scramble the aircraft, the drone can just land somewhere and then it's out of sight. So, I mean, we're coming into the future where it's going to be drone warfare. You don't need pilots anymore. I mean, you can still use them, but the pilot's going to be sitting somewhere doing it. But for them not to tell anybody what it is, it's not showing. It's either showing our government's incompetent, or they know what it is and they don't want to cause panic against the general public. Like, hey, we have to be in these areas because we have a threat of an attack.
Yeah, either of those two things, like you said, could be true. It just seems like with this subject that's going on right now, they're not willing to give any information. It's because I almost feel like maybe they don't have the information. You know what I mean? Now they're starting to see them over New York as well. Like you said, I think you even said they saw them in Florida.
Yeah, there were some in Florida. Somebody was trying to say there's a couple of flying around in Tacoma. I don't know if that's
it's going to be everywhere now. I mean, pretty much everybody's going to see them everywhere now. And like they said, I was watching, I think the Breakfast Club clip and stuff. And Charlamagne the guy was like, oh yeah, the point of it is these are SUV sized
drones. Yeah,
drones
that's huge.
Being manned. People are manning these, and you guys aren't concerned that these things are just flying around anywhere and everywhere. You could pretty much pack that thing with a little bit of, some explosive, whatever you wanted to, and
hit a building.
Crash it wherever. Yeah, anywhere
you didn't even got to do that. You could be in it and drop bombs on people.
If you chose to. And they're acting
why blow up my $1 million drone when I can blow up your $50,000 home?
And at the same time, they're flying over military bases as well.
Yeah.
And so this is the same ones that were going on. I think there was in Virginia. Was that when Virginia we reported on? I can't really remember. We reported on some drones flying over some bases. I think that's not too far. That's not that's probably a couple hundred miles top end. I'm trying to tell you, like Virginia and New Jersey is not very far away from each other. If they're even a couple hundred miles. That's kind of how close everything is. Once you get in the Northeast, it's pretty much 400 miles. You can go from Virginia probably to damn near up to Vermont or somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, give or take, but it's just ridiculous. But so for these people not to know what's going on when you have our military installations in jeopardy, civilians in jeopardy, civilian workplaces, civilian hotspots in jeopardy. I mean, to me, it just seems like this administration's on its way out the door and they're not giving enough information on what's going on. I hope that someone said, one of my friends was talking about some type of a program that I hope this isn't some blue something or some program. He has said that he thinks that this might be some covert government program what they're doing.
It could be. I think what they're doing is it's patrols. Either it's a private company that's testing out flying. If it's the size of an SUV, there's probably people in it, and they're testing out, flying aircraft that are going to be the future. Basically, like your car is going to turn into a drone, a flying drone, and it can take off and take you places instead you have to drive on the road. You know what I'm saying? It's either that or they're protecting. That kind of
they have to not say anything about it?
Because you don't want to give people panic.
No, what I'm saying is like, okay, if they're testing a pilot program for something like where you're driving, they would tell people about that because that would be something that you'll want people to know about.
Not right away.
These are big ass drones, bro. Like,
you want to have the research first because you don't want to be like, hey, we're testing out these flying cars and then one falls down and crashes and then nobody wants to buy one anymore.
Well, I would think that would be they would leave that up to public. I mean, the private the private companies to do the testing for that. And then they would have to tell them not to fly them over airspace that have people in them. You know what I mean? You're not going to take that shit out to the desert somewhere. Take that shit to, some remote area where it doesn't matter if it crashes or not in this area. Because
you're better off flying it over.
You're going to fly it in one of the most highly densely populated places. Why? Why would you fly it over the most highly to test it?
Yeah.
Test it though, bro. I'm not saying it's a bad idea what you're saying.
They probably tested it in the desert, but then you got to test it over homes. But for them not to give us information, it just makes it worse.
It could be, like you say, this could be UFO, but I think they said most of them were drones. And for them to be so low and be easily recorded like this, it's a little, it kind of, it doesn't give the UFO kind of, or the whatever they call it, UAP or
UAP, yeah.
It doesn't give that vibe to me. And it gives more of a vibe to me of these are individuals doing this. And I think that, the government to have been so behind the ball, like you were talking about this before I even heard about a lot of it. In the news like it is right now.
Well, it had been in the news since November. They kept making articles about it. And I was like, I kind of ignored it. I'm like, yeah, because we reported on it the ones.
Yeah.
But then they're like, yo, more sightings. And I was like, bro, yeah, we got to report on this because this is it's ludicrous. Usually that's the story like this goes away.
It goes away pretty quickly.
Yeah, but this one's sticking around.
More and more of them in the sky. I'd never the footage. We have a short. If you guys get an opportunity, go check out our short that DMAC did, and it's a very, very well put together short. If you go ahead and you watch all the drones flying, you see how many that there really are. It's a lot of them. It ain't just a few. And one of them's flying so slow that they could have scrambled aircraft after him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm saying I was looking at that one. I was like, that's going so slow. That must be the key, the main one. Because it's monitoring all the rest of them.
Scramble something after him, man. Go outside. You guys can sit on dope houses for 24 hours a day. You know what I mean? You can't sit outside and just wait till these motherfuckers go up in the air and then send your drone after them. Come on, bro. Listen, they're buying motherfucking trucks to look, that they're crashing the buildings and that they're basically raiding. Remember they raided the buildings, the college kids, and they sent that one big ass vehicle that had like the ladder on top of it where the policeman can climb into. Y'all buying all this shit. You guys don't have good enough drones to go.
No, because they're not ready. The thing about America is so far behind. When Obama was president, he was like, look, we don't need that many troops. He was like, we don't need all this old school stuff. He's like, the art of warfare has changed in the world.
I remember that.
And then Donald Trump came in and he was like, we're going to go back to the old school and do it the way we were doing it. So who knows how far they are behind the research. But, it shows you, like, if China, they have those drone displays where they have thousands of drones in the sky doing like dragons and shit.
Yeah.
Imagine you have 1,000 drones come with C4 on them. How many can you shoot down?
They're doing that right now in Ukraine.
Yeah.
They're doing that right now in Ukraine. They're sending big, huge drone swarms in Ukraine. They say that Iran is one of the they make one of the they have the largest like drone manufacturing plants in the world over in Iran. Who knows if Israel's knocked them out by now, but we have some of the best drones in the world. We're selling our drones all over the place. So we have good drones. We have quality drones that are, I mean, I would say our government probably has some of the most high quality drones that I know about. And I don't know, I'm not saying I'm an expert on that shit, but I mean, I would say we do. So we should have the type of drones that can go catch these SUV sized drones. We should have a problem.
I saw this one drone, the guy put that up and it went 0 to what was it, like 70 miles an hour in 2 seconds. It was just, it lifted it up. Oh. And I'm like, just imagine when you make that full size and you put somebody in there and put guns on it. Because you can't, the only thing that's stopping these drones right now for putting, because the bullets are so heavy. You know what I'm saying? Once you figure out a different way to fire things off of that, like lasers or whatever, it's a wrap.
Or even just a singular, even just a really good guided missile.
Yeah.
One good guided missile, maybe 1 or 2 guided missiles off of there. They don't have to weigh as much. That can just hit like small installations or just small things of importance, you know?
Well, the drone has to also be able to defend itself in the sky.
Why does it have to defend itself?
Well, because I mean,
if you're fast enough and you can send other drones to help defend it, fuck it. That one drone, your job's to carry the bomb. The rest of the drone swarm is pretty much defense. Whether they're running like you can blow, they only cost some. They're making drones in Ukraine. They're like $1,000, man. $1,000 drone. They just sitting. That's the ones we watch chasing people around.
Oh, chasing the guy around the tank and blew him up.
And so gave up.
He was like, fuck it. He ran around that tank 3 times. It was like, I ain't got no more. He just stood there like, boom.
And so I'm assuming whatever they're doing in China, they're probably making those drones pretty cheaply as well, you know. And so we should be doing something like that. Make a fucking drone swarm that flies at night, and we can catch this shit that's going on. This doesn't make any sense that we're not doing it. I just feel like they either know what's going on and just want to leave it as just doing this to kind of scare the public and kind of cause kind of like, worry, like, oh, this could happen to us, so let's do this now.
Well, I mean, the way our news cycle goes, they can just kind of put it off for as long as they want to, because something big will happen in between and we'll stop caring about the story.
Yep, it ain't gonna matter pretty soon. I mean,
think about it. It was happening before. Then Luigi shot the CEO. You know what I'm saying?
Jay-Z got hit with the bullshit.
You know what I'm saying? There's always something. There's always, and especially Donald Trump's coming in. They don't care. They know it's gonna be some BS every day.
Every day.
Absolutely, man. Back now, revenge style. You're gonna show everybody twice a day.
Let's since we're on him.
Yeah.
Let me slide onto this next one really quick here. It says Trump's plan to end birthright citizenship could be decided by the Supreme Court.
Oh, so it's ended.
Yeah. Donald Trump's team is crafting an executive order to end birthright citizenship for the children of undocumented immigrants. A monumental move the president-elect's allies say is a key step in their long-term strategy, getting the issue before the Supreme Court. The effect of Trump's order would be to exclude the children of undocumented immigrants and short-term visitors to the U.S. from the right to citizenship by the birth that is established under the 14th Amendment. And while there are a few details on what exactly he would do and how sweeping the action would be, immigration restrictionists say Trump could do several things, including directing the State Department to refuse to issue passports to children without proof of the parents' immigration status, or the Social Security Administration to withhold Social Security numbers. He could also direct agencies providing welfare and public benefits to U.S. citizens to deny these benefits to those claiming birthright citizenship whose parents are in the country illegally. Details of the plan remain unclear, but it would deliver on a promise Trump has made over his entire political career to restrict birthright citizenship. And man, it's kind of you understand.
He has to change the Constitution to do that, which everyone's like, good luck trying. And I mean, he could probably do it. But the thing is, so basically, it's like if you're an anchor baby, you know what I'm saying? Like basically, like because they'll say like people come into this country pregnant, have their babies here, and then you're automatically a citizen even if your parents aren't. So he wants to get rid of that.
Yeah. No, I get it. But what the biggest thing I'm looking at is like what they're telling us. They're telling us their vision right in front of our face. We're all sitting here having these conversations. We're thinking it's a game. We're sitting here talking about Trump 2024 and all kind of weirdo shit. And they're really telling you that they're trying to keep this nation as lily white as they possibly can for as long as they possibly can. This is what all this is about. This is what deporting immigrants are about. This is what ending birthright citizenship is about. This whole entire, the abortion bans are about. This has nothing to do with the betterment of America or what will make America better. This is about holding back.
Well, in their minds, that's how they're going to make America better, by keeping it white. You know what I'm saying? Remember, we saw the one article where the guy was like, he's like, I don't like Donald Trump, but I voted for him for white supremacy because we want to be able to control our own destiny. You know what I'm saying? Because without that, then we don't have control of what's going on with us. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I always tell people this all the time. Everyone's thinking, oh, you know, everyone thinks they're just going to fade into the darkness and let it slide. I'm like, people don't understand. These motherfuckers have been controlling the world for at least 700 years.
You know what I'm saying? A good stretch of time. 500 to 700 years. Yeah.
700 years, right? They would rather watch this world burn than give it back.
Because they know at the end of the day, I mean, it's like this. When you've been an oppressor for so long, if you've done things where it's like, say you've done things to a person, what do you think that when that person gets this, like, it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. You know what I mean? What do you think what does that person feel like these people are going to do to them when they get an opportunity to have the power that they've wielded over these other people for so long?
Yeah.
And they've treated them like shit for a very long time, killed their people, plundered, raped, did whatever they wanted to do. Not saying that the rest of the world hasn't done the same things with their opportunities, but on such a broad spectrum that we know of, we see who's done it in our time frame.
And the crazy thing about it is, like, you know, you would think that hits your mind, like, dang, what if these people get power and they treat us how we treated them? And instead of you treating people better, you just get worse.
Because they're afraid. At the end of the day, there's no treating people better right now because everyone's pissed. They feel like, okay, imagine you've done something for so long. You're like, what are we going to do? How do we fix this? There's no fix. Some things you break so badly you can't fix.
Yeah.
But in their mind, they feel that way. But things could be repaired. Like, you look at Biden just gave I think he gave $1 billion or $2 billion to Africa just here recently. And I know Africa is a lot of countries. It's not just one country. It's a continent. It's not a country. I understand that. So $1 billion is really.
Dang, he gave our reparations money to Africa. See, I'm done with them.
$1 billion though, bro. That's not reparations money at all. That's
something. It's something. You could have gave that to the inner cities here. You could have gave that to the homeless here.
We could do both though. We don't have to do one or the other.
But we don't. We only do the other. Hey,
you know what? And I
totally we can do both. Yeah. Well, what about us? You know,
I agree. Yeah, I mean, I feel, you know what I feel like though too. At the same time, when you look at stuff like that, I mean, even with this whole birthright citizenship thing, the fact of the matter is that's helped America more than anything else, man. Is allowing people to come to our country, be born here, immigrate to our country, whether it's legally or illegally. Watch how much money gets taken off the table when we start deporting people. We deport 20 million people. They said they're going to do about 1 million people a year, right? So it may take them a while to get them done. You know what I mean? 1 million people a year, that's a lot of people still. You know, don't get it wrong. But at the same time, imagine how much tax dollars that's going to take off the table. How much that's going to impact the workforce in general. When you take 1 million people of working age, most of them will be of working age, capable workers off the table.
They don't care.
That's what I'm looking at. You know,
they don't care. They ain't thinking, cut your nose to spite your face. They're just happy. They want what they want. You know what I'm saying? People have to realize, like, love doesn't always win over hate. I've never seen a time where love won over hate and it was sustainable. You watch Star Wars, look, the Empire keeps winning. All right. The bad guy always wins. You want to know why? Because he goes hard enough to do what he wants. He's like, look, I want this, and I'm gonna fucking fuck everybody over to get what I want. And that's just how the world works. You know what I'm saying? As an Afro-American, I've seen it fully. Now everybody else is about to feel the wrath of it that ain't down with it. So it is what it is. They're gonna kick people out. The price is gonna go up. People are gonna be in their homes fearing for their lives. Houses are gonna get raided by the U.S. military. We're gonna be in martial law, and this is everything you voted for. And I'm gonna sit back and laugh because I'm over it. I'm be like, hey, it is what it is. Or I'm gonna report live from my basement until I can't report live from my basement.
Hey, and this crazy part about it is exactly what everybody voted for. They also, I mean, not to slide over the subject, but there's a lot more that's coming down the pipeline. Because even after this birthright citizenship, what else did Trump come out and say? You know, he came out. He
said, hey, I don't think I can't make grocery prices go down. That's not me. I don't control that. He came out and said it out of his mouth. So I mean, look, you got duped. You're gonna see it. Now I'm gonna see, if people don't understand, like when stuff starts happening, don't come to me and be like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. I'm like, this is what you voted for.
Exactly what they voted for.
I was like, all this happening, this is a representative of you, and there's no excuse you can say to it. Just like I got on the Bernie Sanders people. Like, look, when Trump first got elected, I was like, thank the Bernie Sanders supporters. And they said, no, that's not us. It's not. Yes, it was you. You did it. You did this to us. And now people that voted for Donald Trump, you did this to us. If we flourish as a country, which I doubt, hey, pat yourself on the back.
You're willing to allow a person who's willing to say anything. You watched him and you knew, like, we all know a person who's willing to say anything to get something done. If they'll just say anything to get it done, like he also said, Trump says he can't guarantee tariffs won't raise U.S. prices, and won't rule out revenge prosecutions. Okay. Donald Trump said he can't guarantee that his promised tariffs on key U.S. foreign trade partners won't raise prices for American consumers, and because he suggested once more that some political rivals and federal officials who pursued legal cases against him should be in prison. The president-elect, in a wide-ranging interview with NBC's Meet the Press that aired Sunday, also touched on monetary policy, immigration, abortion, and healthcare, and U.S. involvement in Ukraine, Israel, and elsewhere. Trump has threatened broad trade penalties, but said he didn't believe economists' predictions that added cost on those imported goods for American companies would lead to higher prices for U.S. consumers. He stopped short of a pledge that U.S. households won't be paying more as they shop.
He ain't stupid.
Can't guarantee anything. I can't guarantee tomorrow, Trump said, seeming to open the door to accepting the reality of how important levies typically work. How import levies, typically work as goods reach the retail market. Yeah, I mean,
look, that man told you whatever he needed to tell you to stay out of jail. All right. He's like the boyfriend that got caught cheating in the house with the neighbor, and he got to say whatever he got to say to make sure he don't get kicked out because his name ain't on the lease. All right. But now he already won, so he can backtrack on whatever he wants. He don't care. He ain't gonna apologize for nothing. And you know what I'm saying? Like when grocery prices go up and you can't even complain about it because the police will shoot and beat your ass because they got full immunity. Hey, I'm saying.
Did you hear what he said though? He said, I can't guarantee anything. I can't guarantee tomorrow. Who the fuck says shit like that? Like when you really look at that, man, nobody talks like that, brother, except for a person who's guilty of something. I can't tell you that's true. I can't even tell you what's gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like a person who just says shit like
wait a minute, you just told us this though. He's like, no, I didn't. Remember they had him, they were like, sir, you
want me to guarantee I can tell you this. America's going to he said all this stuff, and everyone knows he said all this stuff, but then all of a sudden he can't guarantee tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like we all know you can't guarantee tomorrow. Everyone understands that. But when you go to that kind of a verbiage, you don't care anymore. He knows he won. There's nothing you can do about it. He has everyone on his team to help him win. When you look at it, that's that last thing with the birthright citizenship. He's going to take it to the Supreme Court. Wherever he wants, take it to the Supreme Court. He's going to win. There's nothing
it's like, who's he going to blame when everything starts going bad? Because last time he was
anybody.
Remember, now last time he was like, yo, it was Obama. It was Obama. It was Obama.
It's going to be Biden's fault. Biden left me with this. Biden left this problem for me. Biden did this. Biden did that. But this is who he's going to. You know he's going to blame Biden. Everything's going to be blamed on Biden. If there's any kind of a war that comes out of Russia, because you know the EU right now is talking about they want to raise their military spending to 3%. What he's going to say is that was Biden's fault. If the food prices keep going up, he's going to blame that on Biden.
Whatever he can't blame. But see, the whole thing is you have the House and you have the Senate.
You act like me and you are what we understand about
politics. You know other people understand. Yeah,
other people don't know. They're like, man, this is fucking Biden's fault. He shouldn't have fucking he gave him the right to bomb into Russia. Now wheat prices are up. No, man, he went ahead and put tariffs.
He's like, my maple syrup is $10 a bottle. Goddamn Canada's tariffs.
You know what I mean? Like they don't see this stuff, but no one's going to talk about it. And this their media. Where they get their media from are not going to talk about it on these terms. And
the funny thing is, they're going to be out there like, I didn't know I was going to suffer. I just thought the colored people were going to suffer.
They're not going to say that out loud, but they were really hoping and believe
that's what it was. They thought they would.
I voted because I didn't want the men in the girls' bathrooms, which I don't either.
Yeah,
but I'm not going to vote my entire policy over that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to lose, a whole election, which I know a person has nothing good for me or anyone in this country, but especially not anyone of color, over the fact of should a man be allowed to be a woman? No, I'm not, because they're going to do it what they want to do anyways behind closed doors. I don't care. You know what I mean? Don't bring it in schools, all that good shit. But yeah, I'm not going to vote for a person who I know is willing to bend the knee to our enemies, who's willing to put tariffs on our closest trading partners. This dude has basically went to war with all of our trading partners as soon as he came in the door.
Yeah, he's like, fuck them all.
Our biggest ones. First one is China. And that's why China is no longer our largest trading partner, which I won't say was a bad idea. Fully. It was a bad idea. We went through some pain because of it, but overall, we needed to just get rid of our dependence on China. It was an overall good move. Will it be an overall good move to go to war with Mexico and Canada?
No.
Our neighbors to the north and south. I think
Canada said FO and find out.
And Mexico saying the same thing. Mexico's saying the same exact thing. I mean, and plus there are border buddies pretty much. You know, if we break ties with them, we lose good relationships with them, or they feel like, you know, he's talking about invading these countries, all kind of stuff because of his tariff plan. You know, you do something like that, now they got to figure out, okay, these guys can at any given time, we might be at war with our neighbor. So I got to come up with a better partner than them because we were their partner before.
Yeah.
Who's going to be their partner next? China? You know what I mean?
Like, you know, his politics are isolation politics.
Isolationist.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's like, we're not going to help nobody else out. We don't care about our neighbors and that stuff.
But it plays into the hand of people like China and Russia. They need America to no longer be a part of the world stage, so they can take their, you know, they can take their seat on the world stage, so they can truly have that seat, because we run it. Like we were just talking about Africa. You know what I mean? The reason why we're helping Africa now, because it makes sense. You just lost 4 countries over there. You know what I mean? They just lost 4 countries, literally. You know, Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Chad. Kicked French out. I think that Niger kicked us out of their country. We had a drone base in their country, which we used to strike the rebels. I'm just saying, all this stuff is the reason why we have to keep good relations with these countries.
Yeah, but he don't get that because he's an idiot. He don't understand. You know what I'm saying?
He does understand to a degree. I'm not trying to cut you off.
Yeah, but I see. It seems like they're trying to make us less safe.
Why is that? Because he has, just like he doesn't want to go and help it out in Syria. Syria is not our problem. We don't need to go over there. We for years have tried to break Syria and break Assad's rule on Syria. We were doing that during Obama's presidency. We had Kurds in, I think, in the north of or in the north or something of Syria. We had like Kurdish troops and rebels that we were like helping to arm. And when Obama left, they were all afraid because Trump was like, I ain't gonna help you guys no more. And he pulled out and didn't help them anymore.
He let the Kurds die.
You know, exactly. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you know, like, why wouldn't we look at that? This has been an ongoing. Why wouldn't we try to? We don't have to own it. We don't have to own it. Let Israel own it. Let Turkey own it. Let a bunch of other people who are already actors in. They got rebel groups, and let them own it. But we can support it and make sure this doesn't turn into another Iran, which is partners with. You know what I mean? And even though I know that Iran could have ended up being decent partners with America had Trump not done the things he did, because to me, he did all those things intentionally as well, too. That's why I believe his tariffs that he's doing right now are all intentional. I think some of them have business benefits for him and his business partners. That he's going to be able to work out intertwined deals with these companies to get better terms for some of his people. But more or less, man, it's to hurt America in my eyes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, here, speaking about hurting America, I want to do this last one. A 42-year-old Florida woman was arrested Tuesday after allegedly threatening a health insurance worker over the phone by using the same words that were found on the bullets used to fatally shoot United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson last week. Delay, denies, depose. You people are next. Brianna Boston of Lakeland allegedly told a Blue Cross Blue Shield employee at the end of a call about a recently denied medical insurance claim. Those same words were found scrawled on 3 bullets casings at the scene of Thompson's murder. Police believe their reference to delay, deny, defend, which is the name of a book attacking insurance companies and a phrase used to describe how insurance companies delay payments, deny claims, and defend their actions. Because of the recent fatal shooting of Thompson, the employee perceived the words as a threat and called the FBI officials. Or FBI officials said the Lakeland Police Department arrived at Boston's home to confront her about the interaction. According to an arrest affidavit seen by the Independent, Boston acknowledged she said the words and apologized.
She said she had said the words and she apologized.
Yeah, it says the woman claimed she learned the phrase due to the recent United Healthcare homicide and believed it suited her situation. She clarifies that she's not owned firearms, nor was she a danger to anyone. But I mean, good. You know what I'm saying? Like, good.
And do you feel like at the end of the day there should be more of this happening?
Yes.
As far as I'm not saying people, I mean saying violence, call to violence. I'm talking about just the fact of the matter, people speaking out, saying something, letting people know that we know what you guys are doing. You know what I mean? We know what this, we understand what's going on. Or should this be a call to universal health care?
I think it should tell these companies, you know what I'm saying? People pay into these insurances. Mm-hmm. America's supposed to be the richest country in the world, but it's not, because everybody has to suffer. No one can ever get ahead these days. You're getting sick, you're getting denied. Good. Come at these CEOs. All of them need to fall. It's about time somebody stood up. And you know, he wasn't the hero that we needed, but he was the person that needed to come in. And I'm not calling him a hero for what he did, because, you know, killing other people is never the way. But when it comes to health insurance, they don't mind. They don't mind
if you die at all.
They for profit. They don't mind if you die. They don't mind if your grandma died. They don't mind if your auntie and can't get her.
Well, we're gonna deny this. I don't understand how you motherfuckers can deny anything if people are paying you money. If they're giving you money and they're giving you money for a long period of time, brother, you got to pay up. Y'all
this isn't going away. That's what I tell people all the time. When I used to work like public jobs, and they'd be like, "I'll get you fired." I'm like, "Oh, crazy! What am I gonna do with all my free time and anger?" And now the health people are about to find out, because you got a lot of sick people sitting around waiting for something to be done. You got a lot of their family members sitting around watching them, waiting for something to be done. And something happened. And now people are like, I ain't got nothing but time and anger. And pretty soon, you're gonna have a lot more time and anger. And it's gonna be focused on these CEOs with these yachts, these penthouses, all these billions of dollars, because they'll show you, hey, this person made $22 billion this year off profit. That's just their bonus, bro. You'd be like, for real?
That's too crazy.
For real? But it's $4,000 for me to go to the ER for an hour?
Hey, and it's how much ever for a pill, and how much ever they trying to cut off anesthesia.
Don't call the ambulance. Don't call the ambulance. Put me on a skateboard and push me down the street.
And that's crazy that we live in this country that we live in right now. And understanding also that insurance companies are used like banks, where you could take insurance companies' money and lend it out like a bank, insurance company. So they're making money. So there should be some kind of understanding. Like if a person's been paying in for this long and you've made hundreds of thousands of dollars off the money they've given you, whatever you've made, whatever the case may be, there should be a right that this person has to some kind of a care. But there isn't. They'll tell you, you know what, man, we're only going to pay for this much of it. You got to figure out the rest. And this is the country that we live in. This is supposed to be the greatest country on earth, man. But at the end of the day, they're showing us that it's really not. It's really not at all. If we can push one more, I got one more quick one. Yeah, we got time for it. This one's about Biden. Biden commutes roughly 1,500 sentences and pardons 39 people in the biggest single-day act of clemency. Wonder why I did that one. President Joe Biden is commuting the sentence of roughly 1,500 people who were released from prison and placed on home confinement during the coronavirus pandemic, and is pardoning 39 Americans convicted of nonviolent crimes. It's the largest single-day act of clemency in modern-day history. The commutations announced Thursday are for people who served out home confinement sentences for at least 1 year after they were released. Prisons were uniquely bad for spreading the virus, and some inmates were released in part to stop the spread. At one point, 1 in 5 prisoners had COVID-19, according to a tally kept by the Associated Press. Biden said he'd be taking more steps in the weeks ahead and would continue to review clemency petitions. The second largest single-day act of clemency was by Barack Obama with 330, shortly before leaving office in 2017. So, I mean, I'm wondering.
So he also released this guy, former Pennsylvania judge Michael Canoin was convicted in 2011 in what was infamously called the Kids for Cash scandal, where he took kickbacks from for-profit detention centers in exchange for wrongfully sending juveniles to their facility. The case was widely considered to be one of the worst judicial scandals in Pennsylvania history. So what he would do, like, kids would come in there, and usually, like, for they got in trouble for something, you get probation, something stupid like a misdemeanor, vandalism, something like that. He was sending them, locking them up. He's like 2 years.
To the jizzle.
One lady confronted him. You have a video of the mother. She was like, "You remember me? You remember my son? He was a track star. He was a great kid. He got into trouble. You sent him to prison. He shot himself in the chest 2 years later from what happened, from the experience he had in jail." Like, he was sending hella kids to prison or to jail for profit.
Let me ask you. So did they say he gave him clemency, or did he commute his sentence?
He commuted his sentence.
Same thing. He was one. So basically, yeah, no, I mean, it's kind of different, because I think clemency is if they're still in jail. I think that I want to say that, but commuting their sentence, it's probably the same. It's probably kind of the same thing, but it's probably different terms. They're saying 1,500 people were they were on home confinement already. You know what I'm saying? Like, they had been given that because they were already doing time. You say, like, what happened to Terry Flannery from BMF? Basically, they had a 30-year sentence. What they did was, when COVID happened, he was kind of a bigger person. He had, like, health issues. So they gave him home confinement, and they said, you can serve out the rest of your time on home confinement. And so this is the same thing they did with these people. These guys might have had a lot of time. Like, that guy might have had a lot of time, but maybe he was older, and he put a petition in saying, I have health issues. I'm older.
That's crazy. You shouldn't commit crimes.
But what I'm just trying
I don't have mercy. I hear what you're saying. I just don't have mercy. Like, I live in a justice system that doesn't have mercy for me, so I don't have mercy for other people.
if there are people who have been putting, I'm not talking about him, because that dude right there, to me, that's a totally different situation than a person who committed a drug crime, who was trying to feed his family. You were actually putting people away, especially inner city kids, especially probably kids of color.
No, he was putting away. He was putting away like all the kids, bro. Like it was black kids, it was white kids, it was kids from good families. I'm just saying, bro, they were like I'm saying, they're coming in for small stuff, like they broke a window. You know, say they threw a rock through a window, vandalism, right? Probation, your first offenders. He was locking them up for like. I think years.
I heard about him. No, I think I heard about this guy. And so to me, a person like him should not be eligible for something like this, because he took, like, that's the public's trust. People entrusted him to be a public servant, and he took that and started putting kids away, taking away their lives. He shouldn't have been eligible for that. I don't care how old he was. I don't care what. Put him in PC. Put him in a private cell. You know what I mean? Whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? Like, don't give him, don't. But I'm looking at Joe Biden as a whole. Okay, you let your son out. Now you want to, he let 1,500 people, but really those 1,500 people are already out. If you think about it, they were already on.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a nothing burger. Right now, we're living in a little world where it's like, oh my gosh, this is big news.
Yeah.
Give it 2 months. Give it 3 months. This you be like, oh, that wasn't that bad compared to what they're gonna start doing now when they start stripping babies away from single mothers.
They're gonna be doing that too. That's coming.
They start locking up trans people and gay and taking away gay rights, and you're gonna be able to beat gay people up in the streets, and they're gonna round up all the colored people and put them back in slavery and new forms of it.
You have some very extreme views, and I'm not gonna say
my views are extreme because now we are in the extreme side one. So you need to look extreme. Don't think oh, they're gonna be nice. 4 years we can vote them out. Ain't leaving.
I'm not disagreeing with with everything you're saying. I'm not. The slavery part, we're gonna see. If you're right about that one, that's gonna be. I'm gonna be looking at you. You know what I mean?
You'd be like, tell us more, Guru D-Mac. I'm like,
while we're either side by side. By that time, we side by side with the things on us. By that time, I'm not going back. Ain't no going back.
None of us is going back, bro. Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. You may be able to lock us up in jail and do it, but you got me.
I still think Biden did this. We all understand why he did it, because he let his son out after he lied and said that he was not going to let his son out.
He didn't lie. He just changed his mind. It's okay to change your mind.
It's okay to change your mind, but you lied. You shouldn't have been like, he shouldn't have been so adamant.
If the whole time he was just like, he's like, you ain't locking my son up. You know what I'm saying? You ain't locking my son up. You could try. Go ahead. No, because then they would just hit him with some other charges somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Or they'd wait. Yeah. So he was like, no, I'm gonna let him. But he realized why his son didn't even get sentenced yet. They could have postponed the sentencing until Donald Trump got in the presidency. And why would you sit there and let your son be the victim to your political rival?
Yeah.
Hell no, bro. I
wouldn't have done either. I'm not saying that. I would have probably been like, let's let the political system take its course. I would have probably said that and wait until after the election. Then after the election, I would have went 0 dark 30 and not said nothing. All of a sudden popped out with my kid got pardoned. He's good. I got for the next 12, 15 years ago. He's pardoned for everything else he did, murders, whatever he did.
Watch in 3 months. Time, Joe Biden and Hunter Biden go be in a hotel. Joe gonna have the bong. Hunter gonna have the lines. They're gonna have the hookers, the bear dog, and be like, "Hey, good look, America."
I told you, man. You got to make a Hunter Biden song.
I ain't go, you make a Hunter Biden song. I ain't doing it. That's crazy. You make it. Anyways, y'all, that's been our show. Uncommon Courtesy. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Don't forget to catch us every Sunday, 1 p.m. Pacific time for our town hall. I will be dressed up for the next one. Wesley's head needs a hat, and only the North Pole can bring it because it's this big. That's what you get for talking about me. Every Friday, the Friday Fix. Yeah, we'll see you guys next time. This is Uncommon Courtesy.
Peace.
Welcome to the Huberman Lab podcast, where we discuss science and science-based tools for everyday life. I'm Andrew Huberman, and I'm a professor of neurobiology and ophthalmology at Stanford School of Medicine. My guest today is Dr. Bernardo Huberman. Dr. Bernardo Huberman is the vice president of next-gen systems at Cable Labs. Prior to that, he was the director of the social computing laboratory at Hewlett-Packard.